So here we have the Air Max 180 Ultramarine, and this originally released in 1991, and it's one of those ones where one of the few sneakers that I was able to buy back in the day, and basically when I did see them, I just bought them when I was younger, and it's probably one of those pairs that, you know, when I was younger, I ended up buying a pair of trainers, I suppose, every couple of years because lack of money. And so this is a pair that's kind of, I suppose, near and dear to my heart, because I used to really love wearing this pair of trainers, and it's nice to sort of have them again. And Air Max 180, it's one of those trainers that this is the actual colorway that I actually bought as well, which was the Ultramarine colorway. And the box is really cool because it's got the 180 on it as well, and I remember this being a feature of the trainers themselves. That's kind of all you get really, but it's still quite nice. And I think at the time Nike were doing slightly different to the sort of standard red boxes anyway. And so the trainers themselves is a very cool trainer in my opinion, and only, I suppose, maybe if you have more of a sort of nostalgia factor to it, that you probably enjoy this pair. And it was originally made as a running shoe by basically so it's originally made as a running shoe, and it's one of those ones where it's I suppose at its time, and at its time it was a modern running trainer, and it obviously has this 180 airbag unit going all the way around, and as a kid that's what I was attracted to, and I really liked the kind of the aesthetics and the way it looks, and even till this day it still looks quite cool and sort of unique as well. And with this one, I think it's slightly on the sort of bigger side, because I don't remember it being that big back in the day. And as you can see here, it's kind of using the Air Max 186, in my opinion anyway, like the big bubble. And there's not really much give or sort of softness to it. That's the only thing that I will say, because it seems to be sort of encased in this sort of plastic. But it looks cool. I don't think it does much in terms of functionality, but it looks cool. And it was a design that was made by Tinker Hatfield, so it's another one of those classic designs that he created. And I'm a big fan of anything that he's designed really. Pretty much everything that I've seen or had have been very, very cool. So with the details, this comes in a white and ultramarine and solar red and black colorway. So the black is obviously referring to the outsole, and then the solar red is kind of like this infrared type color as well. So it's on the bright side, almost going towards like a pink type hue. And then you've got the blue going around the sneaker as well, and obviously this sort of off-white type colour going on the medial and lateral side of the sneaker. And it's one of those where it's using, I think it's quite sort of synthetic material really. Feels like it's kind of sort of felt, what you normally saw, you know, like on an Air Max 1. And this has a polyurethane cupsole, because it doesn't feel like EVA, because it doesn't feel that soft to me. And obviously having the airbag unit in there as well. And like I said earlier, because it's made of this sort of mesh and sort of synthetic materials, it's not the greatest in terms of its build quality. I found when I put my foot in there as well, there's a little bit of tension going on here, and it kind of sort of slightly warps the trainer. You probably can't see that here, but I think it's to do with the tongue. So when you kind of do that, it kind of starts to sort of pop up a bit here, from what I found anyway. And the price on this was £135. So with the comfort and sizing, this feels pretty much like an Air Max 1 really, and in that respect it's on the sort of medium firm side. It's not like it's not uncomfortable, but it's not the most comfortable of trainers. And also you have this sort of gusseted tongue, which is a plus and also a minus. So the plus is obviously it keeps you locked in, and it's lightweight, and you don't have like a really big thick tongue, which is nice during sort of spring, summertime. But what I found with this being, it's because it's gusseted, you have to kind of hold the tongue before you get your foot in there, because with certain Air Maxes you can just slot your foot in, but with this one you have to be a bit more careful, because basically what ends up happening is the tongue just kind of sort of folds in on itself otherwise, so you have to be careful with that. But other than that, it's cool, and it just you know, it's comfortable enough. And your heel does sit slightly elevated, so similar to an Air Max 1, because it's got a similar sort of air unit in there. It does sort of go slightly on the slopier side, but not as much as an Air Max 1 in my opinion. It still feels a bit more sort of balanced on foot. And I would go true to size on these. I went a half size up because I have a wide foot, and generally speaking, if you have like a wide foot, I would sort of recommend going up half size because I don't have too much give in this sort of forefoot area here. So, and the extra bit of space from going up half size does kind of help and benefit it. And I would say the sole isn't that great for wet conditions, mainly being it's a sort of a waffle pattern, which you see on an Air Max 1 really, and the back here as well, there isn't that much grip going on. Obviously you sit quite sort of firm and flat on the, on the sole, but at the same time it's not going to be the most grippiest of things. I can really sort of feel that it's not that grippy, and so it'll be fine, but not like too much in the wet. So with the look and style, I like the OG colour blocking and the sort of angled lines that it's got on it. It's similar to the Air structure that came out pretty much at the same time as well. And I also like the sort of Nike Air on the back. And the colours really sort of pop as well, and kind of give me, I suppose, the sort of more of an American vibe to them in terms of the colours. And it's a good one to wear sort of spring, summertime, mainly because it's a mesh, mainly because it's a white, predominantly white sneaker with those hits on it, and not one I'd like look to wear in the winter. I think, just to sort of stop them from getting ruined really. And it's a good one to wear casually. These are not trainers to wear sort of smart casual, and it works perfectly, with shorts and joggers and that kind of stuff. Obviously you can wear them in jeans, but it's one of those ones where it's got a very sort of sporty look to it. And the white laces that come with it is fine and it works, but you can also try sort of putting in some grey ones and even sort of sail, because you got this off-white sort of paneling colour here. It's not quite completely white. And then you also got maybe choosing blue as a lace option, because obviously you've got blue on the sneaker as well. And then what I sort of say infrared, if you can find something which is on the sort of lighter red side, not pink but slightly on the lighter red, you'll be good to go. So with the pros, I like the OG colour blocking, and I'm just a big fan of this sneaker, and like I said, it has a bit of a nostalgia factor for me. It was a pair that I originally owned back in '91, and it's a very cool pair. And just the aesthetics, like I said, your 180 Air Max unit is really cool, and the only other trainer that I know that uses it is the Fear of God Nike collaboration that came out, and that used a similar thing. So with the cons, the comfort, it's not the greatest. It's one of those ones where it's probably pretty much similar to an Air Max 1 really, so it's not going to give you too much comfort. It does feel on the firm side. But what I will say is once you sort of wear them in, they do get a bit more comfortable. And the materials are not premium materials at the end of the day. It's very much it was kind of made as a runner shoe, so it's just to kind of keep it as light as possible, so you're not going to get sort of premium leathers on this. So with the ratings, I give the look and style a 5 out of 5. I think it's a really nice sneaker in my opinion, and it just looks a business to me. And I think they're going to be releasing other colorways. I've seen one which is sort of a darker colorway. Doesn't look like it would be something that I'd pick up, but if they release more sort of white coloured versions, then maybe I'd look to go and pick up another version of it. And the quality, I give that a 4 out of 5. It's not the greatest of quality, but I don't notice too much wrong with my pair. I think, like I said, the only issue that I found, apart from the materials, is just this sort of little bump here that you get from the tension of the, like I said, the tongue sort of pulling upwards and just putting pressure on this area. But apart from that, it's fine, and it's built pretty well. And the pricing, I'm going to give that a 5. I think, bearing in mind, this is the same price as an Air Max 1, so I think they hit the nail on the head with the pricing on this, and I think it warrants a price at that much, because it's one of those sneakers that doesn't really come out regularly, and probably not as popular as an Air Max 1, or maybe even like an Air Max Plus, but like I said, it's one of those sort of niche Air Maxes, but I think are still sort of very cool. And that's the reason why, like I said, it's more of a sort of nostalgia factor to me personally, but I just think it's just a really cool sneaker, and another one of those sort of Tin Hatfield classics, and just really glad to have it in my collection really. So if you're big into your Air Maxes, then obviously this is a must-have in my opinion, but for anyone who hasn't got much of an affinity for Air Maxes, then you probably want to give this one a miss, especially this being a retro model as well.